Good morning, this is the Night Channel for Climax Screwed. Today is August 18, 2014. Um, before I get started, let me introduce this a little bit. I didn't feel it was right that we weren't going to have a podcast this week, so I took it upon myself to do this Cards of the Day thing. This is basically a remnant from what I used to do on my channel. I used to do Cards of the Day every day. And I'm bringing it over to Climax Screwed because I feel like I don't want to leave you guys out in the dark, So, my format is that I'd cover each of the cards of the day, well, every day. So today's August 18, 2014, and I'm going to cover today's cards. And hopefully you're used to this by the time that the next day rolls around, but we'll see. So without further ado, our first card of the day is Earnest Thoughts Marika. She's a level 1 cost 0, 2500 power, with the police and key trait. She's a 1000 power backup, and when you use the card's backup, you can pay 3. If you do, you can choose an opponent's character that has a higher level than their level and put it in the waiting room. This card confuses me. I mean, let's get this right out of the way. It's a good card. All the level 1 to 2 changes combined with, oh boy, the power increase that they receive. Yeah, this is a pretty good card. This hits the 2295 Jihaya. This hits the 2-1 Vivid Green or Vivid Blue. And it even hits the next card we're going to talk about in a bit. All semi-decent to very good changes at level 1 to 2. My only problem is that this is a blue counter that activates this ability. This should be a red counter, because this one just puts it straight to the waiting room. Why not at the bottom of the deck? I thought that was blue's thing. Whatever. Alright, our second card is Long-Awaited Reunion, Marika. She's a level 1 cost 1, 6500 power, with the police and key trait. And she has a change ability. At the beginning of your climax phase, you may pay 2, discard a card, and put this card in the waiting room. In order to choose the next card, Raku's fiancée Merica, from your waiting room and put it where this card was. And Raku's fiancée Marika is a 2/2 10k character. With the downside of, well, if you play it from hand to stage, you have to discard a card. If you don't, well, it dies immediately. I think the change is actually pretty good. Sure, it's 3 costs, but the total changes from a level 1 to level 2 is always level 2 with 2 costs is always 3. So that's not a big issue. The only thing is that I think we covered last week on our podcast that it's going to be rather stock heavy just to try and get those pendant or promises out. I'm not sure if you can afford 3 stock, unless you're not even planning to go the pendant or promise route until later on in the game. If you don't need it at level 1, then I think you might be good. Just to use your stock for changing into this card, especially because this is a 10k. So what we're looking for now is just good supports and a little bit of sustainability. Like if you can grant this character Encore, that'd be amazing. Or if you could, if there are back row savers, that would work as well. Any of those. So those 3 are the 3 Nisekoi cards for this week. And then we have one from each of the upcoming releases as well. So let's get right on to that, shall we? First card for Persona Q. Egami Hi Group member, Yosuke. Level 2, cost 1. Another backup. With the Junes and headphones trait. This is a 2500 power backup for level 2. Just pay 1 for it. And when you use this card's backup, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is a Junes character, you get to choose one of your battling characters, and that character gets 1000 power for until the end of the turn. The interesting thing, just to point out here, is that this is a 3500 counter in a set that didn't really have a good level 2 counter. Junes will definitely welcome it, but they're needing something much more than a counter. I think they need much more in terms of plussing. They can't just rely on comeback triggers, and sure, you can splash red because of Adachi, and it just there's not a lot of ways to plus hand in the Junes deck, anyways. So while this is a nice addition, they're definitely looking for a lot more. Alright, on to Little Busters, card mission. And for that we have Stage on Kyosuke. Level 3 cost 2 with 10,000 power. It's traitless, which is kind of interesting here because Little Busters has quite a number of traitless searchers. 0-0 Yuiko from the anime booster. Pay 2, tap this, search for a traitless character. There's a level 1 cost 1 event with Yuiko that, again, searches for a traitless character. And normally that would be used to search out the level 3 cost 2 Riki from the trial deck in anime. But I think this card might be one to search out more often. If the number of climaxes in your waiting room is 6 or more, this card gets -1 level in your hand. And this ability activates up to once per turn. During the turn that this card is played from hand to stage, when this card deals damage and the damage is cancelled, put the top card of your deck into your waiting room and deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to that card's level plus 1. So, I don't know how many of you are familiar with a set called Kantai Collection, but a recently restricted card is called Musashi. And essentially Musashi has that second ability, and her only first ability is that she can't side attack. This card is much, much better. It's a finisher. You can play it early. You can side attack with this. And it's easily searchable. There's a lot of plus to this, and I think this could essentially take over what level 3s you normally run in the good stuff build. The fact that it's yellow might be a little bit of a hindrance, but there's still the level support in yellow, and it being an animal searcher is not that bad either because you can search up animal counters. You could just change the deck a little bit to be based around this, but this card looks really, really good for Little Busters. I dare say that it could be probably the best level 3 in a long while that we've seen for them. Here's hoping that the good stuff isn't spread across 4 colors, because this card is really good. Man, I'm really amazed by how good this card is. Okay, and moving on to our last card of the day for today, really. It's a Magician of Justice, and, well, we're not sure what her name is, so I just put girl. She's a level 0, cost 0, 2,000 power with magic trait, and she has the Brainstorm ability. Pay 1 and rest this card to mill 4 from the top of your deck. For each climax revealed, you get to search your deck for up to 1 magic character and reveal it to your opponent and put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards, of course. This is rather interesting. An advantage Brainstorm in Magic. I think that this is alright, per se. It's not something you want to keep around long term, but definitely in the early stages of the game when you want to be searching out your consistent level 1s. Yeah, I definitely take this card. I guess there's not really much to say. It's a straightforward card. It's really, yeah, it's good. Yeah, not really much to say. And that ends today's Cards of the Day. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you tomorrow for the next batch of cards. Alright, catch you around.